giant AI experiments dodge US taxes for years. You are not going to do this after FTX situation, don't you? ChatGPT and OpenAI, you must comply McDonald's to operate how you want to become a crypto hub. So what's that? Alright, hello everyone, that's Alex Goods and that's Banxe News Podcast, our weekly news. Unfortunately, today my co-host Anthony is not available, so I'm going to be alone here today, which is a nice experience for me. Anthony had the same experience 2 weeks ago, so I have some great news for you today about Elon Musk, about McDonald's, about Japanese regulators, all of that stuff. And let's go straight to the first news and the most well-known news for the previous week was that Elon Musk and top AI researchers call for pause on giant AI experiments. So, what's that? An open letter says that current race dynamic in AI is dangerous and calls for the creation of independent regulators to ensure future systems are safe to deploy. Signatories include author Yuval Noah Harari, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, Skype co-founder Jan Tallinn, politician Andrew Yang, and a number of well-known AI researchers and CEOs, including Stuart Russell, Yosha Bengio, Gary Marcus, and Ahmad Mastag. That was predictable, to be honest. I mean, ChatGPT is everywhere right now. I'm going to my LinkedIn. Everyone is talking about ChatGPT, how it can optimize your workflows, how it can cut your expenses, all of this stuff. So it was logical that industry leaders will look at that, not really sure about that. So, that's funny because in 1942, Isaac Asimov introduced his three laws of robotics, which are a robot may not injure a human being or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first and second laws. I believe that these three laws must be the first to implement in artificial intelligence nowadays. So that's about ChatGPT. Every week we talk about ChatGPT. That's great. Artificial intelligence is actually great. DALL-E, ChatGPT, OpenAI, all of them are doing a great job. Thank you for them. They're really helping me in my day-to-day routine. So that's great, and that's cool that people like Steve Wozniak, Elon Musk, and all of the leaders are trying to make our life safer. Next one, really interesting news that Apple introduced Apple Pay Later to allow consumer to pay for purchases over time. Apple introduced Apple Pay Later in the US, designed it with user financial health in mind. Apple Pay Later allows users to split purchases into 4 payments spread over 6 weeks with no interest and no fees. Users can easily track, manage, and repay their Apple Pay Later loans in one convenient location in Apple Wallet. Users can apply to Apple Pay Later loans of $50 to $1,000, which can be used for online and in-app purchases made on iPhone and iPad with merchants that accept Apple Pay. That's a great news in my opinion. It actually makes the opportunity to purchase a lot of stuff from $50 to $1,000 much easier and much more convenient. And it's actually interesting that companies like Apple are actually creating a fintech services right now, and we see more and more fintechs across traditional tech companies and hardware companies. Next one is connected to Banksy, to be honest. British banks put brakes on government's crypto vision. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has granted plans for a crypto hub, but banks in the United Kingdom have other ideas. That's the announce I have here in my notes. So what's that? According to a Bloomberg report on April the 2nd, banks in the United Kingdom are restricting transactions and their dealings with crypto companies and exchanges. The report specifies that HSBC and NatWest have restricted the amount of money customers can move onto crypto exchanges. Barclays also halted transfers to Binance in 2021. For the time being, crypto needs fiat on and off ramps. Unfortunately, that means relying on banks and limiting transaction is just one tool in a high street bank's arsenal. Several crypto executives have reported problem dealing with banks in UK. According to the report, the issues ranged from excessive paperwork to bureaucratic hurdles to having application rejected. I know this pain. It's a big problem in the market, especially in the UK and Europe. A lot of high street banks and traditional banks, they don't want really to work with any type of crypto exchanges. I have a report recently that says that less than a half banks in UK are actually allows their users to send any money to crypto exchanges, and this news is actually telling us that there is a crypto exchange that cannot open a bank account in UK, so how you want to operate, how you want to become a crypto hub. So the region of Rishi Sunak is great that he wants to create a crypto hub in UK, but we need to explain to traditional banks that they actually need to be crypto friendly. Right now, it's not the case, but the case is that you can use Banxe as your banking solution. So if you're a crypto exchange or you want to operate with cryptocurrency, you can open a business account with us. We will provide you with faster payments, chaps, dedicated Euro IBAN. You can make Swift transactions, and you can buy and sell cryptocurrency and make on-chain transactions to or from non-custodial wallets or crypto exchanges. And definitely, we are crypto friendly. So, regulations. That's the best topic for Anthony. Unfortunately, he's today not with me, but what I want to say is that Japan regulator flags 4 crypto exchanges, including Bybit, for operating without registration. You are not going to do this after FTX situation, don't you? So, the Japan's Financial Service Agency, in a warning letter published on Friday, said foreign crypto exchanges Bybit, Bitforex, MEXC, Global, and BitGet are operating in the country without proper registration. The regulator said at the time of the notice the exchanges were violating the country fund settlement laws by conducting crypto asset exchange business without registration, and also said the list of unregistered traders does not necessarily indicate the current state of unregistered business. So, Japan so far is the safest place for users who want to use cryptocurrency, and the Japan regulator is actually doing their job very well. Because of their policies, a lot of people save their funds from FTX crash, because the policy of Japan requires to store users' money in cold wallets in Japan in hardware. So that's the good thing about Japan. They're really strict about their regulations and the things that they actually announced and published the list of exchanges that are doing any kind of unregulatory advertisement or activity on their jurisdiction is actually a good thing in my opinion. And if you want to go to the new market, you must comply with local regulations. So the next one is about Binance and Voyager. So, U.S. government case against Voyager-Binance. The U.S. government has sustainable case on the merits in a bid to quash a $1 billion deal by Binance US to buy the asset of bankrupt crypto lender Voyager Digital. A federal judge in New York said Friday. District Judge Jennifer Reardon said she'd try and move quickly to settle the dispute given that delays could cost much as $10 million per month for the estate. Earlier in March, U.S. bankruptcy court Judge Michael Wiles approved the sale, but this week Reardon said she would put that on hold while she considered objections from the U.S. attorney that the contract effectively rendered Voyager immune by exalting it from breaches of tax or security laws. What we can say, that states that's the case, that's what you have. So let's go. I've been mentioning FTX recently, and here's the news about FTX. FTX Europe sets up a website to repay users Finally, hopefully that all users will get their funds back to their wallets. So, the European arm had been in operation for only about 8 months prior to the collapse of parent FTX, and FTX Europe has begun the process of allowing customers to withdraw funds locked up since parent FTX failed for bankruptcy protection last November, according to a Friday press release. To that end, the company has set up a website through which balances can be verified and then withdrawal requests can be made. So if you had some money on FTX and you couldn't withdraw that, now you can. So congratulations to everyone who can withdraw their money. So for the last 3 weeks, I bet we've been talking about Credit Suisse, and then there is another article about Credit Suisse, a bad one, unfortunately. So the Credit Suisse whistleblowers say Swiss bank has been helping wealthy Americans dodge US taxes for years. The collapsed Swiss bank, taken over by UBC Group, is hastily arranged bailout earlier this month may bring with it a fresh set of regulatory and legal problems for its new owner. For years, the bank has provided a safe haven for wealthy American clients to hide assets from the IRS, even after it was caught and prosecuted for doing the same thing more than a decade ago, according to former Credit Suisse bankers who spoke in an exclusive interview with CNBC. Seems like Credit Suisse wasn't the best acquisition for UBS Group, but we will see. I said last week that it was a happy end, especially for UBS, it was a good acquisition, but right now it seems like really a lot of legal problems will come up after the acquisition. So, we've been talking about regulators, we've been talking about AI, and right now, logically, we will talk about McDonald's. So, McDonald's temporarily closes US offices ahead of planned layoffs. McDonald's will temporarily close its US corporate offices this week as it plans to lay off an undisclosed number of workers as part of a larger restructuring effort, per the Wall Street Journal. This larger revamp happening at McDonald's hones in restaurant growth, operation efficiency, effectiveness, and innovation. Back in January, McDonald's announced accelerating the Arches 2.0, an update to its growth strategy. With that, the company added a second D to its MSD strategy, maximizing marketing, committing to the chain core product of burgers, chicken and coffee, and delivery, drive-thru, and digital. The fourth D stands for restaurant development. As a part of the restaurant growth pillar, the company announced plans to open almost 2,000 new locations this year. More than 400 of the new Golden Arches will be in the US, Canada, Germany, France, Australia, and UK. The remaining 1,500 will be developed license and affiliate markets, including 900 in China. Seems like something strange is happening with McDonald's. They want to grow fast, and now they are laying off a lot of their workers, a lot of their employees. But I mean, McDonald's is a big enterprise, and they definitely know what they do. And the last but not the least news for today is Tesla reports record Q1 deliveries as price cuts boost demand. Tesla on Sunday reported first quarter delivery and production number that topped estimates, indicating price cuts it initiated across the globe and boosting demand. For the quarter, Tesla delivered more than 400,000 vehicles globally, which is an all-time record for the electronic vehicle maker. That figure barely topped street estimates, as complied by Bloomberg, of slightly over 420,000 deliveries. Tesla also produced 440,000 cars for the quarter, easily topping estimates of 430,000 vehicles. While Tesla doesn't break out sales by region, global sales of the Model 3 and Model Y SUV surged following price cuts for both vehicles, both in the US and abroad. So, in my opinion, Tesla is doing a great job, as ChatGPT and OpenAI is actually making the artificial intelligence adoption. Tesla is actually adopting electronic vehicles on the market, I'm living in Europe right now, and I see a lot of Tesla on the street every day. Everyone is buying Tesla. Everyone wants Tesla. It's not easy stuff to buy a Tesla car right now. But what they do, they actually have such a clever marketing, and people really want to have Tesla, even though, in my opinion, the quality of this car is not the best. But still, the best electronic vehicle, according to the market, is Tesla right now. Same as the best smartwatches is Apple Watch according to the market numbers. So that was the news for the week. Thank you very much. I hope Anthony will be with me next week and I'm not going to be here alone, and I hope he's not going to be alone either. So thank you very much. It was Alex, Banxe News. See you next week.